Hello everyone! Today we're going to practice 10 different ways to say you're welcome in English. Let's get started. The first way to say you're welcome is to say no problem. This means that whatever you did was super simple and it wasn't an inconvenience to you. This expression is pretty informal and you could use it, for example, if you hold the door open for someone, they say thank you, and you can say no problem. The second way to say you're welcome is pretty informal as well. You can say anytime. I would use this expression for certain things that I would repeat and things that you would do at any time, really, for anyone. So I would probably use this with my friends or my family, and especially for things that I repeat doing for them often. I'd say you could also use this in a casual work setting. For example, if you often make copies of documents in your office and give them to your coworkers, they say thank you, you can just say anytime because it's something that you're always doing for them. The next one is to say of course. I'd say that this is my preferred way of saying you're welcome in English, and it's just the one that I feel most comfortable using. But it also implies that you are happy to do whatever action you've done for the other person. For example, I really love to bake, and if I made cookies for everyone at my school and they said thank you, I'd say of course, because it was something I really enjoyed doing and was happy to do for everyone. The next way to say you're welcome is to say it was nothing. And this just implies that whatever you've done for the other person was really easy to do, and you weren't really expecting someone to thank you for it. For example, let's say that you live on the same street as one of your coworkers and you offer to give them a ride home one day. This is something that is very simple because you're already going to your house and you're just giving them a ride to theirs. This next way of saying you're welcome is also very informal, and it implies that you weren't really expecting anyone to thank you. For this, we can say, don't mention it. I would especially use this for things that you've just done out of your own generosity. So let's say you're on your way to work and you decide to pick up a coffee for one of your coworkers. And they say thank you, and you could say, don't mention it, because it's something that you did out of your own will for the other person. This next way I'd say is one of the kindest ways to say you're welcome, and that's to say happy to help. I would use this especially when people ask you to do something and you really enjoyed doing whatever the task was. For example, if someone at work asks you to create a presentation about something that you're really passionate about, in the end you could say, happy to help. The next way to say you're welcome is to say, no worries. This way of saying you're welcome implies that you don't really expect the other person to repay you in any way, and maybe it was a bigger task that you did for them. For example, if one of my friends was going out of town and asked me to take care of their dog, I could say, no worries. Even though it's a big task, it's something that I would gladly do for my friends, and I wouldn't expect them to pay me or offer me any sort of repayment. Next, we have one of our more formal ways to say you're welcome, and that's to say, my pleasure. This is another way to imply that you were happy to do whatever someone asked of you, but in a more formal way. So I would definitely use this in a work setting. For example, if your boss or coworker asked you to go give a presentation or a speech somewhere and you do it, you were glad to do it, you could say, it was my pleasure. This next one I would say is actually one of the most informal, and it's to say, sure thing. I would definitely only use this phrase with close friends or family because it is so informal, but it's just a way to say, not really that you were glad to do something, but kind of a way to say, I'll do. For example, if your roommates or housemates or parents know that you're going to the grocery store and they want you to pick up some extra items for them, you bring them back, they say thank you, and you could just say, sure thing. And the very last one is to say, it's the least I could do. And I think that this works really well in formal situations as well as informal situations. So it's very versatile. This also implies that whatever you've done is kind of the least of what you could do for this person. That means that you could do more or you'd be willing to do more to help them. So for example, let's say one of your friends is going to have surgery and they need someone to stay with them and help them get up from bed, take care of them, give them their medication. It's kind of a big task, but if it's your best friend, you would do anything in the world for them. So this is when you could say, it's the least I could. All right, that was 10 new ways to say you're welcome in English. And of course, you don't need to use all of these in your everyday conversations. Like I said, my favorite is to say of course, and some of these I don't even use. I just use what sounds comfortable to me and the ones that I like. But it is important to know all of these because they are spoken either in the US or the UK or different parts of the world with different English speakers. So it's important to understand that all of these mean you're welcome. If you can think of any other ways to say you're welcome in English, let me know in the comment section. And of course, if you have any questions, you can leave a comment there as well. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll post my next video next week.